As a carnivore, I thought maybe I should hide my identity because I don't want to be kicked out of the carnivore community for talking about reasons why we shouldn't eat meat. Well, guess what, guys? I'm coming out and I'm going to have the courage to do it anyway. So here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year. It's officially 2025, and if you're like most people, you've made at least one health-related resolution. Maybe you want to lose weight, feel better, or just try something new. Now, you've probably heard from friends, family, or maybe even your doctor or church community that one of the best ways to improve your health is to cut back on eating meat. But here's the thing. As a carnivore, I've been doing the opposite. I've embraced meat as my primary fuel of nutrition, and a spoiler alert, it's working for me. Still, it got me thinking, are there valid reasons to avoid what I consider the most nutritious food on the planet? And surprisingly, the answer was, yes, there are. So today, I'm going to share 10 good reasons why someone might want to avoid eating meat in 2025. Some are personal, some are practical, and some might even make you laugh. But before we dive in, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Are you planning to cut back on meat this year, or are you doubling down like me? But before we get to the list, let's clear up an important question. What do we mean by meat? For some people, meat means steak, chicken, or pork, but for others like me, it includes all animal-based foods, beef, poultry, fish, eggs, and even organ meats like liver or kidney. Some folks might toss dairy into the mix since it's also animal-derived. For today's discussion, when I say meat, I'm talking about the edible parts of animals. So if you're clear, great. Let's dive into the 10 reasons to avoid eating meat in 2025. Number 1, religious beliefs. For many people, avoiding meat is part of their spiritual or cultural identity. Take Hinduism, for example, where being a vegetarian is deeply tied to the principle of non-violence. If your faith calls you to avoid eating meat, that's a deeply personal and honorable reason to do so. And hey, if it brings you closer to your spiritual goals, who am I to argue against that? Number 2, ethical concerns about animals. Let's face it, animals are sentient beings. They think, they feel, and if you've ever seen a cow nuzzle her calf, it's hard not to feel a twinge of guilt. For some, the ideal of raising and slaughtering animals for food is simply unacceptable. And while I don't share this view, I respect anyone who stands firm in their belief that all living creatures deserve to live their lives in peace. Number 3, rare genetic disorders. Some people have no choice but to avoid meat due to rare medical conditions. For example, phenylketonuria, a disorder where the body can't process phenylalanine, an amino acid found in protein, triethylaminuria, also known as fish odor syndrome. This condition makes it difficult to metabolize compounds in certain meats, leading to, let's just say, social challenges. And porphyria, a rare disorder that can cause severe reactions to meat. So if you fall into one of these categories, avoiding meat is not just a preference, it's a necessity. Number 4, meat allergies. Have you heard of alpha-Gal syndrome? This bizarre allergy comes from a tick bite and can make you allergic to red meat. Imagine being allergic to steak because of a tick. Mother Nature has a weird sense of humor, right? If this happens to you, avoiding meat is a no-brainer. Number 5, environmental concerns. Some people avoid meat because they believe it's bad for the environment. But let's clarify something. The idea that cows are the primary cause of climate change is not entirely true. Only 2% of global emissions come from cow burps and digestion. That's a far cry from the headlines blaming livestock for all our environmental woes. That said, if living a more sustainable lifestyle is important to you and you feel better avoiding meat, that's your choice. Just know that driving an electric car or just simply reducing food waste will have a much bigger impact than skipping a burger. Number 6, you believe animals are dirty. Some cultures or individuals view animals, especially pigs, as unclean and unfit for consumption. For example, kosher laws strictly forbid pig, citing health and spiritual reasons. If avoiding certain types of meat aligns with your values, that's a perfectly valid reason. Number 7, health issues with digesting meat. Not everyone's body digests meat easily. If you've ever felt bloated, nauseous, or sluggish after eating a steak, it might be due to low stomach acid or other digestive issues. For some people, temporarily avoiding meat while healing their gut makes sense. But once those issues are resolved, reintroducing meat might actually improve your health. Number 8, you're generally afraid of cholesterol and saturated fat. Despite decades of research showing that saturated fat doesn't clog your arteries, many people still cling to the idea that eating meat will give them a heart attack. If you're someone who feels safer avoiding animal fat, I won't argue with your choice. But I will encourage you to dig into the science because meat isn't the villain it's often made out to be. Number 9, you were raised vegetarian or vegan. For some, avoiding meat is just what they know. If you grew up in a vegetarian household, it might feel strange or even wrong to start eating meat now. And while I'd argue that meat could improve your health, honoring your family's traditions is a valid reason to stick with plants. Number 10, here's an easy one. You generally don't like meat. Let's keep it simple. If you don't like the taste, texture, or smell of meat, you shouldn't force yourself to eat it. Meat is meant to nourish the body and the soul. And if meat doesn't do it for you, that's reason enough to skip it. Now, those are 10 solid reasons to avoid eating meat in 2025. But did I miss any? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Are there other valid reasons to avoid meat, or are you on team carnivore like me? At the end of the day, avoiding meat is a personal decision. Whether it's driven by faith, ethics, health, or just personal preference, all of these are valid reasons to steer clear of meat. But here's my advice. If you don't fall into one of these categories, consider embracing meat as a central part of your diet. It's nutritious, delicious, and for most people, the best food you can eat for your health. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of the next posts. Here's to a happy, healthy, meaty 2025.